The property was worth $1.4 million. Ashley was attempting to sell my lake house for half its value, and my parents were already celebrating the commission split. I saw the listing at 2 p.m. Singapore time while reviewing my morning emails. My property monitoring service had flagged the Facebook posts, Instagram stories, and Craigslist ads, all featuring photos of my house, my dock, my view. I called my private banker immediately, Werner Schmidt, UBS Singapore. Werner, it's Emma Lawson. I need you to shut down an attempted property fraud. My sister is trying to sell my Washington Lake house without authorization. What do you need? Wire $3.8 million to the property management company with documentation showing I'm prepaying all expenses for the next 15 years. Lock the property legally so no sale can proceed without my physical presence and biometric verification. Then call my sister and explain exactly who owns that house. Consider it done. The wire will complete within the hour. Thank you. I hung up and returned to the posts. Ashley had received 62 comments and 9 serious buyer inquiries. One offer was already on the table, $650,000 cash, close in 5 days. Her response, sold. My dad is handling paperwork at the house right now. Come by this afternoon to view. Of course, Dad was involved. The family dynamics were predictable. I was the invisible daughter who'd abandoned them for a career abroad. Ashley was the beloved youngest, 32, still figuring herself out between yoga instructor certifications and essential oils MLM schemes. She lived in mom and dad's guest house rent-free, while I'd been supporting myself since college. I'd purchased the lake house at 29 with my signing bonus from a tech company, then sold my equity stake for $8.2 million when the company went public. I moved to Singapore for a CFO position at a fintech startup, salary $480,000 plus equity. The lake house was my sanctuary. I visited twice a year, kept it maintained through a property management company, and had zero intention of selling. Ashley apparently had other plans. At 3:47 p.m. Singapore time, 12:47 a.m. Washington time, Werner called back. The wire had completed, $3.8 million transferred to Cascade Property Management with a 15-year prepaid contract for maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities. I had also filed legal documents with the county recorder flagging any sale attempt as unauthorized. Your sister cannot sell this property. Perfect. Now make the call. With pleasure. Werner conferenced me in silently while he called Ashley's number listed on the Facebook post. She answered groggy. Hello, Miss Ashley Lawson. This is Werner Schmidt calling from UBS Singapore regarding the property at 4127 Lakeshore Drive. Oh, yes. Are you a buyer? The listing just went up. I'm not a buyer. I'm calling to inform you that you're attempting to sell property you don't own. The owner, Emma Lawson, has prepaid all property expenses through 2040 and filed legal restrictions preventing any unauthorized sale. Silence. That's impossible. Emma moved to Singapore. She abandoned the house. My parents have power of attorney. They don't. I've reviewed the county records. Emma Lawson is sole owner with no POA grants to any party. Your listing is fraudulent. Who the hell are you? I'm Miss Lawson's private banker. The property is not for sale. Remove all listings immediately or face legal action for attempted fraud. Ashley hung up. I smiled. The Facebook posts disappeared within 20 minutes, but the fallout was just beginning. At 1:30 a.m. Washington time, my phone rang. I answered. Hello, Mother. Emma. There's been a terrible mistake. Some foreign bank called Ashley in the middle of the night claiming you own the lake house. Obviously, that's wrong. We need you to straighten this out. I do own the lake house. I bought it 6 years ago with my own money. But you're in Singapore. You don't use it. I visit twice a year. I pay for its maintenance. It's my property. Ashley found a buyer willing to pay $650,000 cash. That's a good price for a house you never use. We were going to split the money, give you half, obviously. Pause. Half of the proceeds from selling my $1.4 million house for $650,000? It's worth $1.4 million. Mom's voice went quiet. According to the last appraisal, yes. Ashley was attempting to sell my house for less than half its value. Why would she do that? She said you didn't care about it anymore, that you'd abandoned it. I have a property management company that maintains it weekly. I pay $4,000 monthly for upkeep. Does that sound abandoned? Emma, we didn't know. Yes, you did. You knew I own it. You knew I haven't sold it. You decided I wouldn't find out in time to stop you. Your father needs money for his business. Ashley needs help with her debts. You're making $500,000 a year in Singapore. You don't need a lake house. And that gives you the right to steal it? It's not stealing. We're family. Family doesn't commit real estate fraud. Mother, I hung up. At 2:15 a.m. Washington time, Dad called. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Emma, your mother is very upset. You've always been difficult, but this is ridiculous. Ashley made an honest mistake. She thought you'd abandon the property. We were trying to help you by handling the sale. If you press this issue, you're going to destroy this family over a house you never use. Is that really what you want? I deleted it. The buyer who'd offered $650,000 posted in the original Facebook group. PSA, the Emma's Lake House listing is fraud. Owner never authorized sale. Seller has no legal right to property. Avoid this scam. The post got shared 300 times. Ashley's reputation in local real estate groups was obliterated. He called me at 3 a.m. Washington time, crying. Emma, people are calling me a scammer. I'm getting death threats. You have to tell them this was a misunderstanding. Was it a misunderstanding? I thought Mom said I didn't care about the house anymore. So they decided to sell my property without asking me, listed it for half its value, and keep the proceeds. We were going to give you some of the money. How much? Silence. Ashley, how much were you planning to give me from the sale of my own house? $200,000, she whispered. Mom said that was fair, since I make so much money anyway. So they were going to sell my $1.4 million house for $650,000, keep $450,000 for themselves, and give me $200,000. And they thought that was fair. You don't need the money. That's not the point. It's my house. You can't just sell people's property because you've decided they don't need it. I'm going to lose everything. People think I'm a criminal. You attempted to commit real estate fraud. You are a criminal. I'm your sister. You're someone who tried to steal from me. There's a difference. I hung up. The next morning, I received a call from Detective Mark Rivera, investigating real estate fraud. Miss Lawson, I'm looking into the attempted sale of your property. Your sister claims she had verbal permission from you to list the house. Is that accurate? Absolutely not. I've never given anyone permission to sell my property. She also claims your parents have power of attorney. They don't. I've never granted POA to anyone. We found draft documents on your father's computer showing attempted POA paperwork. It was never notarized or filed, but the fact that they created it suggests intent. Did you know about this? No, Miss Lawson. This appears to be attempted fraud. Your sister listed property she doesn't own, accepted an offer, and was preparing to close on a fraudulent sale. If she'd succeeded, this would be grand theft. We're talking potential felony charges. My stomach twisted. What happens now? That depends on you. Do you want to press charges? I thought about Ashley crying on the phone. Mom's justifications. Dad's voicemail calling me difficult. I thought about the house I'd saved for, bought with my first major success, kept as a retreat from the intense pressure of my career. They tried to take it because they thought I wouldn't notice, as I was far away, because they decided my success meant I didn't deserve to keep what I'd earned. Yes, I said. I want to press charges. The investigation uncovered more than I expected. Police found text messages dating back 3 months. Mom to Ashley, March 15, Emma never checks the house. List it fast and close before she notices. Dad to Ashley, March 22, the buyer offering $650,000 is perfect. We can close in a week and split the money before Emma finds out. Ashley to Mom, April 3, what if Emma gets mad? Mom to Ashley, April 3, she'll be mad, but it'll be done. She can't reverse a closed sale. She'll get over it eventually. They'd planned this for months, researched property law, and consulted with a real estate attorney who had advised them they couldn't legally sell without my authorization, advice they ignored. Dad had even prepared fake power of attorney documents, planning to forge my signature if needed. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was premeditated fraud. Charges were filed in June. Ashley Lawson, attempted real estate fraud, conspiracy to commit theft, filing false property claims, $75,000 bail. Robert Lawson, Dad, conspiracy to commit fraud, forgery for the POA documents, accessory to attempted theft, $50,000 bail. Linda Lawson, Mom, conspiracy to commit fraud, accessory to attempted theft, $50,000 bail. The local news picked it up, family conspiracy, daughter, parents charged in attempted $1.4 million property theft. My phone exploded with messages from extended family. Aunt Jennifer, how can you do this to your own sister over a house you don't even live in? Uncle Mike, your parents are devastated. They made a mistake. Family forgives family. Cousin Sarah, you're destroying the family over money. You should be ashamed. I blocked every single one. The trial was scheduled for September. In the months leading up to it, my family mounted a PR campaign painting me as the villain. Ashley posted on social media about greedy siblings who value property over family. Mom gave interviews to local papers about successful children who abandoned their roots. The narrative was clear: I was the cold, heartless daughter who'd betrayed her struggling family over a lake house I never used. The narrative ignored several facts. I visited the house twice a year. I paid $48,000 annually for its maintenance. They had attempted to sell it for $650,000 when it was worth $1.4 million. They planned to keep $450,000 and give me $200,000 of my own money. But facts didn't matter when feelings were involved. The trial lasted 2 weeks. Prosecutors presented the text messages, the fake POA documents, and the Facebook listings. They showed Ashley's bank records, $65,000 in credit card debt, and Dad's records, $90,000 in business loans he couldn't repay. They had planned to sell my house to solve their financial problems, keeping most of the proceeds and counting on me being too far away or too nice to stop them. Defense attorneys argued it was a family misunderstanding, that my family believed I'd abandoned the property, and that the low listing price was an honest mistake in property valuation. The prosecution destroyed that argument by showing the appraisal Dad had commissioned in February, confirming the $1.4 million value. They knew exactly what the house was worth. They deliberately listed it low for a fast sale before I could intervene. The jury deliberated for 5 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was harsh. Ashley, 3 years in prison, $700,000 restitution, the value they attempted to steal, 5 years probation. Dad, 2 years in prison, $700,000 joint restitution with Ashley, lifetime ban from real estate transactions. Mom, 18 months in prison, $350,000 restitution, same real estate ban. The judge was blunt: this court sees many fraud cases. What makes this particularly egregious is the betrayal of family trust. The defendants targeted their own daughter and sister because they believed she was vulnerable due to geographic distance. They planned this fraud for months, created false documents, and attempted to steal property worth over $1 million. Family relationships do not exempt anyone from the consequences of theft. Ashley sobbed. Mom looked shocked. Dad stared at me with pure hatred. I felt nothing. I returned to Singapore and threw myself into work. The startup went public 8 months later. My equity stake was worth $14 million. I used $2 million to renovate the lake house, new dock, updated interior, professional landscaping, turned it from a retreat into a masterpiece. I spent 3 weeks there last summer. Alone. Peaceful. Ashley wrote from prison. I didn't open the first 5 letters. The 6th one I read. Emma, I've had time to think. Too much time. My therapist says I need to own what I did. So here it is. I was jealous. You worked hard, succeeded, bought beautiful things. I worked sporadically, failed constantly, and owned nothing. When Mom suggested selling your house to help the family, I didn't question it because I wanted your success. I wanted what you'd earned without earning it myself. The therapist calls it entitlement. I call it being a terrible sister. I don't expect forgiveness. I just need you to know I understand now that what we did was theft. You were right to prosecute us. We would have stolen everything if you hadn't stopped us. I'm sorry, Ashley. I read it twice and put it in a drawer. It wasn't enough to rebuild trust, but it was acknowledgement. 2 years after the trial, I'm still in Singapore, still at the fintech startup, now a publicly traded company where I'm chief financial officer. I visit the lake house 4 times a year, sometimes for work retreats, sometimes just to sit on the dock and watch the water. Ashley gets out next year, Dad in 6 months, Mom in 3 months. I have no plans to see any of them. My maternal grandmother, Helen, is the only family member I speak to. She visits me in Singapore once a year and stays at the lake house when I'm not there. You did the right thing, she told me on her last visit. They taught you that family means tolerating anything. You taught them that family means respecting boundaries. Last month, the real estate market in that area surged. My lake house is now worth $2.1 million. If Ashley had succeeded in selling it for $650,000, I'd have lost $1.45 million. She'd planned to give me $200,000 of that and keep the rest. And my extended family thinks I'm the villain for pressing charges. I learned something important: protecting yourself isn't cruelty, even when it costs you relationships. My family tried to steal from me because they believed I wouldn't fight back, because I was far away, successful, and didn't need it. They were wrong. I fought back. I won. And I'm keeping the lake house. Not because it's worth $2.1 million, but because it's mine.